In this video, I'm going to show you an easy solution for home backup power, and this costs less than $600. And that includes the power units. Keep all the essentials in your house working. And if safety is important to you, in my backup power solution, I have you covered, and I can touch everything. And it's dummy proof, so if you accidentally make a mistake or somebody turns on the circuit that you are going to be backing up power to, you're going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and shut everything off. And now the power is completely shut off. Hey guys, welcome to Random Fix. So I moved out to the country, so I lose power sometimes 3 times a week. And I wanted an easy solution for home backup power, as I was really getting tired of the refrigerator beeping and the possibility of food spoiling. With safety in mind, I went ahead and designed a very safe, efficient, and affordable system. And now let me roll up the garage door with the power meter shut off completely. Let me show you guys inside the house with the essentials working, such as the internet, the lighting, and the refrigeration. And then I'll show you guys the setup. Okay, so the power is still shut off. And guess what, guys? We got lights. The living room area has power. My wireless router is on. And most importantly, I have my main refrigerator and my garage chest freezer getting power. I recorded the video and it's much later now, and I actually forgot to mention that this is $600, including all the parts and all the materials, your battery source, and no ongoing maintenance. Zero maintenance. I think you're gonna like it. Before I show you this, just understand that electricity is dangerous and it can be deadly. So be very cautious when you are handling anything electrical, and do your own research and look into your own codes and your own laws in your area. This is what I did. So when you're looking for a home backup power solution, there's a couple of things you need to keep in mind. One of them is going to be safety. One of the big no-nos is injecting power into the panel, because if one of the power company employees is working in the neighborhood trying to fix that line, they're going to go ahead and get zapped, and you do not want that to happen. So the way I'm going to show you guys is going to be a much better method, as the circuits are unrelated. And we have breakers in place to keep all your home wiring and electronics safe. And now let me show you guys the setup here. And I'll show you guys what I had done originally. And recently I had a very close call for safety. So I went ahead and made these upgrades. So everything is going to be fail safe. This is what's actually powering my house right now. This is going to be a portable power station. And this particular unit has a lot of power, and it's able to power up the refrigerators, internet, and lights around the house for up to 10 hours without any issues. And there are times that I lose power for more than 24 hours here. So I'm going to show you guys some long-term solutions. The way I have actually wired it is going to be dummy proof. So this is how the house actually receives the power. And this right here is a female tip. So my kids cannot accidentally go and hurt themselves. And this is rated for 120 or 240 volts. And I'll show you guys the inside of the box here in a few minutes. On the other end, it has just a regular household plug. And when one of these is plugged in, the other one is not getting energized. So I can touch this other one here without any issues. And if I wanted even a simpler solution, I could have just gone with the single plug here. Then I'm limited to 1600 to 1800 watts. And with that one, I'm actually able to double the power. So there's really no drawbacks, and I like the longer cord. Then this goes and plugs into the wall, and it twists clockwise to lock into place. And to keep this unit powered up, I plug it into the wall. So when the power goes out, this automatically goes and kicks in and supplies power to the house. And when the power comes back, this will go ahead and get recharged. This is all Wi-Fi controlled. This has internet access, so I'm able to go ahead and view it anytime via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. And you guys can see the current usage of this right now. So this is definitely a good solution for a power efficient house. And I lost power so many times out here in the country that this is the very first solution I had with this battery. And when I lost power, I would go ahead and plug into here. At first I ran extension cords, and that was really not a very nice sight around the house. And this was an inverter, and I never got around to solar, but I'll show you guys what I am doing in the future. and it was connected to this battery. And what kept this battery charged was gonna be my Toyota Prius. A Toyota Prius is a big old power generator on wheels, turns on and then turns off all by itself, and it only consumes about $3 of gas per day, and it doesn't have those nauseous fumes that some gasoline and diesel generators have. And for emergency home backup power, the Toyota Prius is amazing for the following reasons: because I already own it, it's easy to maintain, and it's super reliable. So the reason I am making this video is because of these right here. These are called a dead man's plug, and the basic idea is that I can plug one in into the portable power station, and then the other end becomes energized, and then I would plug it into a regular receptacle like this. So instead of having one of these plugs, I had one of these plugs down here. Well, this makes it ultra dangerous in case my kids get to it or anybody's doing work around the house. This is bulletproof. This is very dangerous. And for a moment, if I pretend that this dead man plug is not dangerous and it's okay around kids, what is actually going to be more dangerous is going to be my fuse panel. So if I had this energized and somebody comes by accident and turns on this breaker while the circuit was energized from the backside, it would cause some damage. So what I did do is I put a lot of tape on this particular breaker so it cannot be turned on without removing that tape. But in that one instance, the electrician almost turned it on, but now that is no longer a concern, and it was much easier than I thought, and I no longer have to worry about this. And they do make lockers for these breakers, so you cannot turn them on by accident, and that is going to be a solution for some people. Personally, that's something I do not want to worry about, so I'll cover with you guys my simple solution, and this is no longer a concern. And don't take any chances with anybody else's safety. Do the right thing. You need this plug, and I'm going to show you guys all of this and what you need to get this done properly. And in case you're wondering how this can get power in case the electricity is completely gone, well guys, guess what? You can actually power this with a solar array, and this is a 200-watt solar array, and it powers up that box, which then goes and feeds the house. It's that easy. So you can go and make this a really viable option. And I'm actually going to go with a permanent solar solution for this in my backyard, and I'll show you guys that now. So I built this just about a few months ago, and it's complete now. And I have a lot of room up there to go ahead and install solar panels. And this is one of the reasons I built this, besides the fact that my son wanted a punching bag outside. So I took care of that need for him, and I gave myself a very nice space to go and install the solar panels that I'm going to be getting. And I'm going to run the power from the solar panels to the box, which is inside the garage. And that's going to allow me to use some of the solar energy that I am producing. And I don't have to really use one of these MPPT charge controllers, as this will go ahead and handle the smaller solar panels here and also the bigger ones all internally, and there's not much for me to worry about. So I'm definitely liking the ease of use with this unit. And now let me show you what parts you will need. If you're doing this, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to get an EV, or you'll be forced into getting an EV in the near future. So go ahead and plan to get either a 50 amp or a 30 amp plug like this. And as far as the home power backup, the easiest way to do it is actually use this. However, this will only allow you to get 120 volts into the house. In case you have a future upgrade, this is not very good, but it's the easiest. And you can use cheaper wiring for this. You can get away with 10 2-wire or even 12 2-wire, and it's much cheaper to buy the wiring if you want to go this route. The way I did it is to use this right here. This 14-30 connector is a 30 amp connector. So it has 4 connectors, which means I can actually put a total of 240 volts or 2 120 volt connections into the house. That's the route I have decided, and this is going to allow me to upgrade in the future. However, they don't make a real receptacle where you can go and put it into a box. So I had to actually fabricate something in order for it to work. There's an exception, and if you're okay with a flush mounted box, this right here, has that receptacle built in. It has the box, the cutouts, and it's very easy to go ahead and install. However, again, this will not be flush mounted. It will be surface mounted. I wanted something that was flush mounted. This is going to be the breaker that I used. I actually used a double pole. So it's two of these side by side with the connecting pole. And again, these are not polarity sensitive. For alternating current, for DC current, they are. And per this manufacturer, I can use either one and I'm okay. So the hot wire goes into here, and the other one that I'm going to go and provide power to the circuit would be over here. Green means that it's not energized. Red means that it's energized. Here's the double pole version, the one I have installed. And since I mounted this inside of my actual box, I didn't have to worry about getting another box. And if you do need a box, this is the box for it. This is a double DIN box. So you can actually fit two of these right next to each other, or the double pole right next to each other. And it comes with the gaskets already included, which is right here. It comes with the backing rail, so it'll snap into place. And it comes with all the fittings. The double pole here already comes with this particular bracket, and you can mount it anywhere. I mounted it inside my box. I purchased a pre-made wire. However, you can make your own wires. Just make sure you use the right kind of cable, and I'll leave you guys a link to what kind of cable to use in here. And if you want to make your life extra simple, you can go with this versus what I used. But the only drawback with this is I'm going to be limited to about 1800 watts. As when I have two of these connectors, I can go ahead and double that. As far as wiring, for the 50 amp, I installed 6-3 cable in Romex. For the 30 amp plug, this sort of plug, I used 8-3. And you want to use this one right here that has this sheathing, and not this cable. These individual cables cannot be freely run behind the wall. They need to be run inside of a approved conduit. So this is super complicated, and this is very easy to do. And as a pro tip, if you want to save money on wire, buy it by the foot. For my job, I use about 5 feet, and I still have 2 feet left. For the 15 amp circuits, this wire right here will do. You can use 12-2 or 10-2 wire. Whenever you're working with electrical breakers, those Phillips looking screws are not Phillips. They're actually squares. So most of the times they use a square 2 or a square 1, and these will not strip. And you want to make sure that you get them nice and tight, and go and check your connection a few times before you finally place the box in the wall. And if you want to be extra professional, they even sell torquing screwdrivers for electrical connections. And don't forget about these. These are 3/4 inch protectors, so when you actually slide the wire into the box, it doesn't short out. There's these plastic ones, which are much easier, and then these metal ones, which are a lot easier to remove if needed. Now let me show you guys how I wired this up and the ease of use. So my portable power station is always plugged into the electricity, and when the electricity goes out, this will automatically flip over and provide power to the house. Through this plug, it goes through the wall, comes into the breaker box here, and you want to try to use a heavier gauge cable as you can make future upgrades. It goes through the breaker here, and then the breaker, once it's activated, provides power through this black cable right here. And these black cables are known as the line wires or the hot wires. And it comes up here, and I basically spliced the two connections together using this Wago connector. This is a 2-in-1. And I did the same on the other side here. And all I did is take the black wire out of that circuit right there, and I put it in here. Same thing for the other connectors. And inside my house, I do have GFCI plugs. So these are not just protected by the circuit breaker, they're also protected by GFCI plugs. which are plugs like this. So if it feels some sort of short, it will go ahead and trip out, and then you'll have to manually reset it. I haven't experienced anything like that since I have had this, so it is working beautifully. And I did not touch or remove these white wires here. These are called neutrals. Same is true for the green, which is going to be my ground cable, which are underneath these green screws right here. Now you might be asking yourself, why didn't I just go and get an isolation switch? My main disconnect here is outside of my house. It's not in the garage. And now let's talk about the hardest part of this, which is actually the installation of this particular plug. As they don't make a receptacle for this, that's a female, that is actually going to be the one where you can actually mount it flush inside the wall. So they make these boxes. These are normally surface mounted. So what I had to do is the following. I got the plug here, and I got this round cap, and then behind that I have a round receptacle box. You just have to cut the hole out and then go and feed the wires, put this on top, and the rest was pretty easy once I figured that out. I went to a lot of stores looking for a solution. This is the closest thing I could find. And if you're okay with the surface mount, this is going to work for you. Flush mount, you need to go and do it this way. If somebody finds a receptacle that is actually able to fit into a regular box, please leave a link for it in the comment box down below. And then the 50 amp is going to be in a metal 4-inch with a riser. Plug right here is in a 1 gang box. You want to go with the deep style. All of these plugs here are going to be old work, so they're really easy to go ahead and install, as they have these tabs that flip out, and as you tighten it up, it'll suck against the drywall. And again, I'll leave you links to everything. And this is my breaker box. So the power comes through these two legs here. There's the leg A and the leg B. And the ground comes through that thick cable right there, a shiny cable. The neutral comes through that white wire right there. And it is all the way down, even to here. And it has a jumper across the other side. So I can use either one of these neutrals to connect this, and I can use either one of these grounds. And in this case, I want to connect to the neutral here and the ground right there. I just removed the black wire, and that's all I had to do. No other modifications needed, and everything works. And I'm really happy with this, and it has not given me any troubles. And if you guys have any feedback on how to improve this, please comment down below, as I'm always looking to learn. And I'll leave you guys some links down below for the proper tools, as you do want to make sure you have the right gloves and also the right tools that are insulated. And if you want to double up your power, this particular unit that I'm showing you guys actually has this optional battery pack, which just plugs into the side. And it's a really nice design, because this will discharge first and then that discharges. And all of this is handled by the power unit. So there's nothing really for me to configure, and that makes it super easy. So here is the way I normally keep my units. I keep them on top of each other. And if I haven't mentioned that, this acts like an automatic transfer switch. And so if it gets unplugged from power, nothing is affected, and it's using the power from the batteries to go power up the house. Very easy. If you're a professional electrician and you're watching this video and you think there's some improvements I can make, please comment down below on what they are. And as always, guys, be kind. Just know that I am doing my best, and I'm trying to go ahead and do this in the safest manner while following as many codes and laws as humanly possible. Let's do a recap of everything that we have discussed so far. Most importantly, as you notice, I am not injecting power into the power company's distribution right here. I'm staying completely clear of that. Here and here, I have my neutrals, and I'm properly grounded out. Everything's through the breaker. And if you guys notice, these terminals here have that black coating on them that wasn't previously there. As today, I had 2 electricians come out to the house because my home warranty was almost going out, and I had them do some last minute repairs. And the same electrician that almost turned on the breaker previously, about 2 months ago, came out and he looked at my work, inspected everything, and he gave me a nod and a green light. And I did want to leave you guys off with some last minute tips. Before you turn on the power to your house after installing your plugs, just make sure you double check all your work. So put it on the continuity setting right here and just make sure you got everything wired up correctly. And if you guys like additional peace of mind other than just the circuit breaker, I like to use these surge protectors. They're $5 each. And in case there's an issue, these will go ahead and trip. And it's a lot easier to replace one of these than to replace the circuit breaker or have to take the panel cover off to replace the circuit breaker. If you guys enjoyed this video and think it was helpful, please make sure you guys do not forget to give the video a thumbs up, share with friends and family, as they may be considering buying an expensive $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 backup power solution when this is all they really need. And they're going to be thankful that you shared this with them. And this is very easy to do, as you can knock this out on a Sunday afternoon and you can save yourself thousands and thousands of dollars. And when you're done, go ahead and label any of the added breakers. And the way I did it, this panel can be reverted back to its original state within 5 minutes. And any modification that I made, such as where the breaker is, was on top of the knockout. So I can go down to Home Depot, buy a bigger knockout, and I'm covered. And if you need something that has more power capacity than this 1,000 watt hour anchor unit, they make these bigger units right here. This is from Convolt. It has almost 3,000 watt hours and it's a lot smaller and will get the job done as well. It just depends on your budget. I'll leave you guys links to all of this in the video description box down below. Make it a great day.